Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Without the Bank podcast, where we are going to talk about all things IBC, the business of banking, utilizing money, and how to create more wealth. Okay, today we are going to get back into Nelson's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, which is the founder of the concept in case you're just joining. But we are going to talk today about capitalizing your system and implementation. This chapter is very, very short. It's not even a full page, but it is actually one of the most important chapters well, they're all important. Let's just be honest. I mean, every single thing that Nelson put in his book was for a reason. And so they're all important, but this is the biggest. This chapter is probably where I see the most challenges. Let's put it that way. And people that really have a hard time understanding implementation and capitalization. So when Nelson talks at first, I'm just going to go over some of the highlights of what he's talking about here. And one is, how do I get started? Well, he talks about desire, right? We have to have a desire to change. And I heard somebody say one time that the discomfort of change has to be less than the discomfort of where you're at in order for that change to happen. So you have to the pain of change has to be less than the pain of where you're at right now. How painful is it where you are right now? And I have clients that want to change before it's painful. I have clients that it is painful and that's what's causing them to look for something else. Even in the real estate world right now, it is painful on one side, right? The sellers are doing fantastic. Buyers, it's painful because we can't get loans. Interest rates are rising. Houses are selling for more than what they should. Holy moly. I was just notified last week that a house in our market built in 1972 still had carpet on the support poles, had original carpet to the house, green countertops, swans on the bathroom doors. It was original 1972, screaming 1972. The only thing that was not original were the appliances. They even had one of those like sprayer things coming up from the bathroom sink. Like I didn't see those after like 90. People remodeled and took them out. No, not these people. This house sold for $111,000 over asking in Bismarck, North Dakota. That is painful for people trying to buy. I was trying to buy. I was trying to do some stuff locally here with rentals. And I finally just said, forget it. Forget it. This is ridiculous. I'll just leave town. Because who is coming in spending $111,000 more on a house, buying this house? The pain for me is too great. It's too great. I'm done. I'm out, right? We got to make a change. We're making a change. We're going to a different area because the pain is too high. So I now am being forced to look elsewhere. If you want to make a change, there has to be a reason for that change. There has to be something that drives you to that change. And that's what Nelson is saying. You are going to make a change to do this. Leave your 401k, leave your IRA. Stop contributing to those things if you don't believe in them. If you're going to need them to buy rental properties, start a business, whatever. Even starting a business. The reason you start a business is because the pain of where you're at is greater than the pain that it's going to be to start a business. Okay, I've beat that dead horse. All right. So Nelson also says everyone is already spending all their financial resources on what they think is best. Isn't that interesting? We say, well, Mary Jo, I cannot put money into a life insurance policy. I don't know where I'm going to get started. Because we all put money to a place that is important to us. So if we can't find the reason to capitalize this system, then that means it's not as important to us. The pain's not great enough to make that change. Are we going to have to beat Parkinson's law and say, maybe I don't need to go to the bar every night. Maybe I don't need to have a brand new pickup. Maybe I don't need X, Y, and Z. Because if we make a lot of money, we tend to spend a lot of money, but we don't know where it goes. So we have to look at what is important to us. If this is important to you to get this started, then you're going to find the money. You're going to be willing to capitalize your system. Okay? He also goes on to say, I strongly recommend that you find a life insurance agent that is thoroughly familiar with the infinite banking concept as your coach. Yes, as your coach, because you're going to need somebody to help you through this system, somebody to help you understand how you're to use this system, right? You can't just go buy a life insurance policy and think you're going to figure it out on your own. That's not going to happen. What's going on with your life? Where are you spending your money? What are you buying? Are you starting a business? Are you buying rentals? What are you doing with your money? You just working 9 to 5, 8 to 5, 7 to 5, 7 to 7. If you're blue collar, you're working, 13, 14-hour days. Are you working all those days, putting money into this 401k or pension, thinking that that's the answer? Do you need help clarifying it? Do you need to understand the concept? That is what the infinite banking practitioners do. So find yourself a coach that's going to be able to help you with that. And then he said, you must be patient. It's going to take years to get started, and it needs to be a lifetime commitment. Whoa, a lifetime commitment? You mean I can't ever stop paying premium? Technically, yeah, you can. Should you? No. Don't plan on it. Because the longer you have the policy, the better it is. It's going to take you some time to capitalize. That is why he says be patient. Remember the chapter we went over, starting your bank? And Nelson talked about how long it takes a bank to get up and running and get all the depositors that they need and everything that they need. Yeah, because they're capitalizing it. If you are a business owner listening to this, you know how long it takes to get your business going to where you finally start making some money. You see a difference. It's typically 5 years. Guess how long it takes the policy to kind of get on its feet? 5 years until you cash flow, 10 years, 7 to 10 till you break even, depending on your health rating. Could be a little longer, depending on health, but it's going to take some time to capitalize. You have to be patient. If I see somebody that's really struggling with this concept, it's because they think they should have all their money right away. And why do you think you should have all your money right away? When you're putting money into an IRA and a 401k, you don't have any of it till you're 59 and a half. But you don't question that. You don't say, why don't I get access to my money? Why do I have to pay a penalty? Because you're conditioned to just think that. So you need to be patient, okay? Then he talks about organizing a wealth club that meets periodically. Include members that are already good infinite banking practitioners. Include people that you have things in interest with. Include people that are using their policy. He also talks about going and getting the cash flow game from Robert Kiyosaki. Surround yourself with like-minded people. And if you don't have any in your local area, then thank goodness you have me. If you're a client, thank goodness you have this podcast and many other podcasts. I have a client that has a friend locally that they have little think tanks. They have tiny little think tanks with their little group in town that has policies. And it's absolutely fantastic. Guess who is one of my best customers and the best client that understands infinite banking? Him. because he gets it. He's always talking to other people about it. Now, my clients have access to talk to me about it, to run those strategies about it. Hopefully, we have a client think tank so we can all get together and talk about these things. I'm hoping to do that soon. We have to surround ourselves with like-minded people. I do not go hang out with investment brokers. Like, that would be silly, right? I mean, just the thought of that, like, duh, Mary Jo, hello. Well, no, really, why? I'm going to surround myself with people that think similar to me, people that think better than I do, on the same level of where I want to be. So I can expand my system. How are they using it for family banking? How are they teaching their children how to do it, to use it? How are they using it for real estate? All these things. Surround yourself with those people. But how do you know where they're at? Well, you got to talk to people. You got to tell them what you're doing. You got to stick your neck out a little bit. And once you do stick your neck out, you might find people that think like you. But so many of us are so scared to be criticized. We just go, oh no, I got to hide in my little shell. I can't stick my neck out because somebody might criticize what I'm doing. Well, they're only going to criticize if you allow them to. If they've not educated themselves, they can't criticize. So you can't even have a conversation with them until they actually read the book and they understand what you're talking about. Until then, you're having just a disagreement, right? Or you're trying to sell them on the concept. I had clients last week who I met with the girlfriend, and I did not meet with the boyfriend, right? So she understood the concept. He still had a lot of questions. She tried to explain it to him. Then, what should have been an hour meeting turned into an hour and a half, hour 45, because we had to re-explain stuff to him. Everything changed because now he got it and he saw the value of it. Well, that conversation should have happened earlier. I'm glad that it happened. But when she was trying to explain it to him, she couldn't explain it to him because she's not the professional, right? She's not the one that truly understands. Surround yourself with those people. Educate yourself. If you're trying to talk to somebody that's not educated, why? And then he ends this chapter with, get started now. The longer you wait, the more you have penalized yourself. If you know what is happening, you will know what to do. If you know what is happening, you will know what to do. I love that. You got to know what's happening. You got to decide who the players are. If you've not listened to my Farming Without the Bank podcast, go over there. It's a good one this week. Who are the characters in the play? What's going on? You need to understand what's happening, especially when we are in what's going on right now in our country. That's insane. The price of gas, the price of homes, the printing of money, the just mismanagement of everything that is happening right now. You need to know what's going on, and then you will know what to do. Know what's going on in your finances, and you'll know what to do. Pay attention. Such a good chapter. Educate yourself. Stay on top of it. This is you becoming the banker, not me becoming the banker for you. And then you just buy a policy and you're done. It's just not that simple. You need to capitalize the system. You need to stay educated. Use it or lose it. Nelson talked about that as well in an earlier chapter. Be diligent about your financial future and what you can do. And by all means, it's going to all work out. I've been listening to this book, Atomic Habits. It's a great book that talks about the fact that, and I'm not through the whole entire book yet, but the beginning of the book I really liked because he talked about how goals are stupid. Well, he didn't say that. Those are my words. And I think goals are stupid. I don't do goals. There's no point in me doing a goal. Because then you got to figure out the process to get to the goal, and then you get to the goal and yay, right? So always have the goal in mind. And whatever happens. Here's my process to kind of get where I want to be. Where I want to be is in my head. I don't need to write it down on a piece of paper. But he talks about that goals are worthless because it's the process of getting there that's important. You can't get to the goal if you don't create the process. So if you want to have retirement, if you want to have properties, if you want to have a business, if you want to do these things, how are we getting there? Great. This is what your goal is, but how are you going to get there? What habits then do we have to create to do that? One habit is going to be studying infinite banking, educating yourself, listening to podcasts all the time, learning. So we have to make that commitment. We can't just do it one time, read the book one time and be done with it. No, that's not what it's about. Okay, you guys. Let me know if you have questions. Email me, maryjo@withoutthebank.com. If you've not gotten Life Without the Bank yet, if you've not gotten Nelson's book, they're in a bundle, get them separately. I don't care. And then schedule your appointment so we can talk about these things. And I'm not going to try to sell you anything. We need to know where you're at. We need to understand where to begin. And then I'll help you. And then you're well on your way. Okay? Yes, you're going to have to put in a little effort. Yes, you're going to have some patience, but that's what I'm here for, is to help. All right, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. If you would love to leave a review, share this, whatever, I would also appreciate that. Let me know if you need anything, maryjo@withoutthebank.com. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next podcast and you have a fantastic day.